The following program is suitable for family viewing. Well, non-family members can join in too. Hello and welcome to Taste Buds. My name is Zoe Okeke. I run a catering service, and today we'll be making rice pilaf with some shrimp sauce. And when we get back, I'll run you through the ingredients and show you how to make easy peasy rice pilaf. Making rice pilaf is one of the easiest things ever, and you don't need a lot of ingredients. You just need to have your rice, basmati, butter, unsalted, some peas, some carrots, some green peppers. Use as much vegetables as you want. You can add some marrow, you can add some red pepper as well. And we also have some carrots for the sauce, some shrimp, some stock, garlic, onions, tomato sauce, some corn flour, seasoning, salt, and with a bit of black pepper, rosemary, and some thyme, we should be able to get this done. So let's start cooking. First things first, we are going to prep these green peppers. That's the only thing that's not prepped right now, so we're going to prep them. So I should get a chopping board and a knife. Okay, right now, we're going to be cutting these green peppers in two different ways because I'll use some for the rice and I'm going to also use some for the sauce as well. For the green bell peppers, if you use bell peppers anytime, you have to always make sure you clean out the seeds. We don't use that to cook, so you always have to make sure those are cleaned out. And remove. So we'll get rid of this part. And I'm going to be cutting them in two different ways. I'm going to cube some and I'm going to cut some into strips. Almost at this size for the sauce. So let's do that first because it's the easiest part to get to. Almost as the same size with this one so that it doesn't look out of place in the pot. Get a little saucer so to put this in. Okay. Luckily, we have all our veggies prepped, so we get to cooking immediately. First things first, we have to get the stove working. For cooking rice in the first place, you definitely do not need a lot of heat. People are under the pressure that you actually boil rice. No, you actually steam rice. So we're gonna heat up the pot. So let's take out the ingredients for the shrimp sauce to the corner. So we can have a little bit of working area right here. And then we got a spoon. I think our pot is hot enough. We are gonna put some butter. Okay, let me explain what rice pilaf is. Basically, this is a method you can use to cook rice, fried rice and jollof rice. The only difference is that you tend to flavor the rice first by frying it first. So we're gonna add some butter. As soon as that is a bit melted, we're going to fry some onions and some garlic. The secrets in frying onions are, anyway, shout out to Chef Rex who taught me this recipe. So we're going to put some onions and some garlic. Fry them to the translucent. Quick tip, if you're frying onions and garlic and you don't want them to burn, immediately add a pinch of salt. And stir. So this onions has been on for a bit, but it's not turning brown just because we put a little bit of salt in it. So don't forget to always like add a little bit of salt. And then the next step, funny enough, first time I did this, I couldn't believe I was cooking rice this way. We'll add the rice to the oil. If you are going to make jollof with this, you do this whole level, but then you already have your jollof, your tomatoes and everything fried down already and ready. So instead of parboiling or boiling straight out, this is basmati rice. You tend to cook basmati rice as long as they ask you to cook it at the back of the pack. So for this particular brand we're using, we're asked to cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes. So that's just how long it's going to take for this to get ready. I think I'm probably the only one who's obsessed with the smell of fried onions. At least once I smell fried onions, I know that it's about to go down in the kitchen. I'm just going to add a little bit more rice so that it doesn't get too oily. So that being done, we're going to use some of this amazing stock. You can use any form of stock. You can have like shrimp stock, chicken stock, beef stock, whatever you feel like having. So now I'm going to take the heat down really low because we're about to start cooking. Cooking rice is not boiling, like I said earlier. It's about steaming. So we've taken the heat down. We're going to add enough stock to cook the rice. Just enough to start it up. At this point, so since we're trying to steam the rice, I would suggest that you get some foil at this point and cover up the rice. I'm going to use the cover as well so we can seal in all the steam. So the steam cooks the rice and not boil. So we'll leave it here. I haven't added the vegetables yet because I'd like to save all the nutrients in them and I like them a bit crunchy. So I would be checking it from time to time to know that we're not going to let it get burnt. We'll be checking it step by step. We'll be adding the veggies as we go. For now, we're just going to let the stock is quite seasoned. So that's why I haven't added any extra salt or extra seasoning for now. So we'll just let the stock start to cook slowly. If we need more stock as time is going on, we would add. Then just for a little bit, then we'll add the veggies. And when we come back, we'll check up on the rice and start the shrimp sauce. Thank you. So welcome back. While the rice is getting ready, we're going to start up on our shrimp sauce. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but if you are having guests over, you need something really quick to cook. This really doesn't take any time. So for the shrimp sauce, we'll put a saucepan on the fire, let it get hot. So we get a little bit of butter. Butter makes everything taste great anyway. So if I could cook every single thing, even okra soup with butter, I guess I would try. So now the pot is dry enough. We're going to add a little bit of butter. And we're going to fry the rest of the onions and the garlic in the butter as well. Like I said earlier, when you're frying your onions and your garlic and you don't want it to get brown and burnt, add a pinch of salt. So, next step, tomato sauce. You can use your store-bought ketchup, or you can also get store-bought tomato sauce. This is just an easy, fast, Chinese-based recipe. So we get our carrots and our green peppers for flavor, our shrimp, our salt, seasoning, corn flour to thicken it up. So next we'll add the tomato sauce. We don't need a lot. Well, you have to just at this point, if you have some stock, you can use some stock, or you can add some water. But then we're going to use a lot of we're going to use seasoning to give it flavor. So we can use some water just to get the base of the sauce going. And we stir. Right now it doesn't look like much, but by the time we add some flour, add the veggies and the shrimps, trust me, it would be amazing. But then I'm teaching easy recipes that you can put together without having to stress yourself out at the market. Checking up on the rice, we're gonna add a little bit of water. At this, if you still have your stock, you can use your stock at this point. The stock had a lot of seasoning, so you know what happens when you put in too much seasoning in your food anyways. So, check. At this point, I would like to add some of the vegetables. Not some, not all, just a little bit, because this would cook as well, then give the rice flavor, and then you would like that crunchy bit at the end. So towards the end of the meal, we're gonna add the rest of the veggies. Right now, we're going for flavoring. So going back to our sauce, I'm gonna add a little bit of curry. A little bit of thyme. Some black pepper. It depends on how you like your black pepper. I personally love a lot of black pepper because it's tasty. We'll use some seasoning at this point. Add a pinch of salt. Another. And let it slowly boil down. Sometimes without even adding any corn flour, the tomato sauce tends to cook itself till it thickens a little bit. But then if it's not as thick as you want it, you can supplement it with a bit of corn flour as well. So we've added the carrots. Now I'm adding the green peppers to it. I'm going to let that cook down. Our rice is coming out lovely. It's beginning to, you can see the color is changing. It's about to get soft and ready. It just has a little bit of water in it, and that would steam down. At this point, it's always good to taste for salt. So we're gonna add some seasoning. Some black pepper. And we'll cover this back up to steam itself to delicious goodness. Just gonna turn up the heat a little bit. Check up on my shrimp sauce. I really like. So the next step is for the shrimp sauce. We'll be putting in properly deveined and clean shrimps into the sauce at this point. So at this point, we're going to thicken the sauce with some corn flour. It's basically ready at this point. Just like shrimps are not like beef or chicken that takes a lot of time to actually cook. Most times, immediately you drop them into hot water, they're done. Pardon me, use my finger. I can't wait to get into this food. So we're gonna stir. Checking the texture to see if it's as thick as I would like it to be. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more corn flour. Most times you don't need more than a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, depending on the size of sauce you're making. This shrimp sauce is ready. Let's add a bit of seasoning and a little salt. And that's a wrap for the shrimp sauce. So we're going to turn up the heat there. Wash my hands. And the sauce is so short that the rice is still on fire, imagine. And check up on our pot of goodness here. So in about, let's say 5, 6, 7 minutes, this should be ready as well. And then we can plate our beautiful, easy dish. So our shrimp sauce is ready. Let's check on our rice pilaf. See? And that's ready as well. The pleasure of cooking rice and not having it stick together that's just amazing. Because when you cook rice and cook it properly, it should be like this. So we give that a mix so that everything is put together. One advice I'll give to you while I turn off the heat is, if you're going to serve rice pilaf with some sort of sauce, you should actually not go too heavy on the seasoning so it doesn't clash with the sauce. The only way you can enjoy your meal if the both complement each other in flavor. So now we're going to plate. One secret I have in plating rice to make it look amazing is to get one of these plastic plates. I always have a lot of these just because I cater, but then it's amazing when you have like dinner parties or have guests over and you just try to show them some fancy food work on your plate. So we'll take some of this rice. And I need you to know that this rice can have anything in it. You can have beef, it can have the good part about this rice is you can make it in jollof form as well. You can have anything inside. This we're just making plain so we can enjoy some nice shrimp sauce with it. You have to make sure you press it down completely so that it doesn't scatter on its way out. Nice and easy. We're going to serve ourselves some shrimp sauce. This looks and smells amazing over here. So when you're serving, always have a quick serviette just to clean out the edges of your plate so it looks more presentable. And voila. With that all said and done, this is my simple rice pilaf and shrimp sauce. Okay, now we're to my favorite part about cooking, the eating part. And we're gonna taste. So we're gonna take some shrimp sauce, put it here, mix it together. Not bad at all. It really tastes good. So, I'd like to see you guys recreate this stuff. Post your pictures to the social media. It's been a lovely evening showing you guys how to make this simple, easy peasy meal. Even any guy can pull this off. So now we've come to the end of today's cooking session. We made rice pilaf and shrimp sauce. My name is Zoe Okeke and it's been an awesome day in the kitchen on Taste Buds, and can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.